Welcome and welcome back, everybody, to the OK Grognard Show. Today is Wednesday, June 24th, 2026, 10 a.m. Central in beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. And we're going to look at EGGCon 3. It's the third one, happening July 16 to 19, 2026 here in beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. What's going on with that? Well, it's a nice con. I don't know if you've been. I got out to the first two, but, it's easy for me. They're right here in town, so I'm not claiming I'm some kind of hero. Just that I had a lot of fun. I played a lot of war games and role-playing games. I'm actually adding some board games in this time. There's a couple that I haven't played in quite some time being run, and I thought, you know what? I should carve out an hour or two and jump into those as well. I think I'm going to be in Alan Hammock's Ghost Tower game, so I'm looking forward to that. And such a dangerous adventure and run by the person who wrote it. It's going to be very, very exciting. And Carlos Leising is running some of his first edition games, and I'm managed to get into at least a couple of those. So I think he's got 4 slots. Look for those. But look for any first edition, because if you can get yourself into a old school game here in Lake Geneva, EGGCon, you'll be doing very well for yourself. What's going on with this over here? There it is. Badges on sale now. There'll be a link to the tabletop events site where you can buy a badge. I don't know if they still have any of those great Chet Minton artwork t-shirts left. I'm sure they do. They must have some left. If you go now and sign up, and then, of course, the sooner you sign up, the better off you are, because you'll have more choices for what games to get into. Not that there isn't plenty going on. Of course, there's a dealer hall. There'll be a big auction. A lot of these things are supporting charities, so be sure to check those out. What else is on this thing? Oh, all the information for where it is. Harbor Shores in Lake Geneva, where it's been the last couple of years, and it spills over into the Cove, which is right across a very short parking lot. So you can get from one venue to the other, and it is in both and growing. I hope it can stay there for a while, but I mean, that would preclude it from growing and growing and growing. So maybe at some point it's going to have to be elsewhere, but this is its third year. First year it was at Comfort Suites and American Legion Hall, and this year Harbor Shores and the Cove. And of course, I think all years it's had some stuff going on over at the Horticultural Hall and at the museum and at the library and all of the places around town where you would think that gaming would be connected to. And of course, if you're in town, you got to make the pilgrimage, take the tour around town and see all of the wonderful places. See where that Gygax Memorial Table is going to be put in later this summer, end of the summer, maybe early fall. It's coming up pretty fast. They're already working on the granite for the table, so I've seen pictures. They're carving it up. They've smoothed it all up. Obviously, it was quarried earlier this year and shipped to the finishers, so that's on the move. So Gary is being well legacy immortalized here in Lake Geneva. And, Paul Stormberg, who works for the president of the Gygax Memorial Fund, has taken that thing to new heights. He has really done a great job moving that table along. So he's one to thank. So if you're at EGGCon and you're over in the wargaming area, I think he also runs some first edition D&D over there. Definitely do Oh, early badge pickup, July 15th. Definitely go and thank him for all the work he's been doing. It's very great that he's doing all of that. Here are the vendor hall hours at the bottom of this graphic. You can check that all out. All that information is also on the tabletop events place. Hey, by the way, I want to mention in my comments from last week's show on ability score checks, I missed one that was from the first edition Player's Handbook, the spell Fool's Gold, level 2 spell. It's on page 70. And in the comments, GMDM78 was kind enough to point that out. And I appreciate it. If anybody else knows of any other ability score checks from the, let's say, anything in the first edition area, because that's really my area. I looked in the last video at things from before D&D all the way through the Rules Cyclopedia, but the idea was to kind of justify what was going on in the community, that people were using ability score checks, and I think we made a good case for it. But here's another one, because it says as part of this spell, when somebody turns some copper coins into gold coins, apparently, when somebody makes them look like that, fool's gold, right? Any creature viewing fool's gold is entitled to a saving throw which must be equal to or less than its intelligence score. And it throws in a modifier here because it says, but for every level of the magic user, the creature must add 1 to his dice roll, so it becomes unlikely that fool's gold will be detected if it was created by a high-level caster. So there's another case of a ability score check written baked right into the rules, and that was a note from GMDM78, a comment in the last video, and I appreciate it very greatly. Please feel free to comment anytime. Hey, something else. There's an anniversary coming up for a July 4th, 2014 situation that I blogged about back in the day. That was when D&D 5th edition, the starter set, was first released. And I ran on down to Games Plus in Mount Prospect. I'll put a link in. There's a series of blog posts because for the next couple of months, our first edition group took a break from first edition and put the 5th edition starter set through its paces. I think we had a great time. I mean, we're D&D players. We're going to have a great time no matter what we do, but obviously first edition being my first love and my continuing love, and for many of them as well. But they enjoyed doing this and trying it out, and that was a lot of fun. But the important thing to remember is EGGCon 3 coming up right away. Show notes will give you links to go sign up. Please do that. And let's call this one in the can, huh? We'll just say that we've been talking about EGGCon 3, July 16th through 19th, 2026 in beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. The show streams live on Twitch each Wednesday at 10 a.m. Central, and then it's archived on YouTube. Like, subscribe, follow, all of that fun stuff. Comment, appreciate comments. And you can support the channel even at the free level on patreon.com and join such illustrious others as Tom Tullis of Fat Dragon Games, Carlos Lysing, Castle Entertainment, Heath Farndon of the ANPD and D20, Dave O'Brien, unauthorized user, Dethangel Shadow, Heidi and Eric Gygax Garland of Gaxland, Vince Ragusa of the Maroon Room, an excellent prog rock band, Daniel Caldwell of Griffin and Gargoyle, Martin Thomas of Daddy Rolled a One, a great YouTube channel, Christian Garcia, Stephanie Lesniewski-Gruchow, Cera Toppilopkus, Colin Szablewski, Sergeant Zeno, the Bruised Knight, Nate Mosier, Rod Garcia, John Smith, and as always, Shane Bradley, DM Extraordinaire. This has been the OK Grognard Show from beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Thank you, and bye-bye.